What's up guys, welcome to GetPsyched and to our first official video. Thank you so much for tuning in. What's up guys, welcome to GetPsyched. My name's Fraser and I'm a counselling psychologist in training. And this video is going to be catered for psychology students and psychology graduates. We're going to look at building a psychological CV or having a CV in psychology. Now what does that mean? Well, it's very much like building a CV in any other subject. There are a few tips and tricks that I'm going to let you in on that's going to really help you stand out from the crowd when you're progressing in your career in psychology. It's rough. Now guys, a quick heads up. I'm not really going to go into the minute details of CV building. You guys already know that spelling is so important, that structure, the way that you come across, all these kind of things are really important when you're creating a CV. And actually what I've done is I've linked something down in the description below to the American Psychological Society. They have a really good website that really directs you towards all those things, all the things that you need to be aware of, all the kind of wee small things that you got to be aware of when you're creating a good CV that stands out. So make sure that you click that link and check out that information. So guys, I'm going to go through a 5-step process in psychology CV building that's really going to help you stand out from the crowd. When you go into psychology, when you're thinking about becoming a professional psychologist, everybody has a degree, and when you first start out, the likelihood is that most of the people there are going to have more degrees than you do. So guys, step 1, volunteering. Volunteering is so important. It's a drag, sometimes it can be a real strain. Fundamentally, you're working for somebody for free. Not many people want to do that. But volunteering is vital if you're going to build a CV that's really going to stand out in psychology. Employers love it. If you've given up your free time to help people to go out and do some volunteer work, that's really going to stand out. And my advice to you guys starting out is to do this early. When you go into professional psychology, your CV is going to be really long, and if an employer can look down and look currently and see that you're volunteering your time, that's going to really stand out in your favor. Keep in mind when you're volunteering that it's really important that you try and cater that volunteer work within the field that you're interested in. It's not much point if you're volunteering at, a plumbing organization and wanting to go into psychology. What's really important is that you maybe look for some charity work, that you work with some younger people or some older people. If you're in that one-to-one or group contact with other people, helping others in a volunteer setting, that's going to really pay off. So quick tip with volunteering, what I would do is call up organizations like Bernardo's, your council. Call these organizations up and say that you're really interested in volunteering. See what they have to offer. What's the worst that could happen? The likelihood is they're going to be really thankful that you've offered your time up, and they might even take it further after that. I've been in a number of volunteer roles where after a few months or after a couple of years, I've been offered paid work, so it really does pay off in your favor. Step number 2, try and seek out work in any way in psychology. Okay, now that sounds really general. Try and get your foot in the door early in an organization. Now this is primarily catered for newly starting undergrads, but really it's for anybody who's in an academic setting in psychology, even for you graduates too. My advice is that you get your foot in the door early. If it means that you work on the phones in a psychology service, if it means that you're opening the door to clients coming in a therapy service, do it. Things really pay off. They build to bigger and greater opportunities, sometimes opportunities that wouldn't have otherwise been available. So you've really got to stick it out, you've really got to put the work in early and get your foot in the door. Step number 3, look for additional courses. Now, this often can be really expensive. You'll see a lot of courses that are day-longs, that are weekend-longs, and they can exceed £1,000 sometimes, even more. These ones I advise that you stay away from just now. There's a lot of courses, day courses, morning courses, afternoon courses that are free. Again, you've got to do your research, you've got to get online, contact your council, you've got to contact some counselling organisation. But having those additional qualifications within the field that you're looking at, whether it's therapy, whether it's clinical psychology, occupational psychology, getting some additional courses are really going to stand out on your CV. As I said guys, when you're going into psychology, everybody has a degree. Everybody has a degree. Some people are going to have more degrees than you, but if you can show some initiative and look for smaller courses that you can get, that you can put on your CV, whatever it is, that's going to really stand in your favor. Quick tip with this, I would contact the NHS. I've conducted a lot of individual courses on my own through employers, okay? So often you'll get the opportunity through your employer to conduct some smaller courses. The NHS are great for this. Also, private psychology services are really good for wanting to develop their staff. This is all connected to getting your foot in the door early, guys. The opportunities are there. Step number 4, networking. Now, networking is something I'm probably going to do a whole separate video on, but networking is so important in psychology for 2 reasons. First reason is that it really works, and the second reason is that not many people do it, or not many people do it right. How do we network in psychology? Well, you attend conferences, you submit papers. The British Psychological Society, PsyPag, these are organisations that are really good at helping young students publish some of their work. If you've got a piece of coursework that did really well, I advise you to try and get that to those organisations and try and get that work published. Just getting your name out there is going to do so much for your networking capabilities. Also, if there's a field of psychology that you're particularly interested in, you go and research that online. You look for the people in your area that are doing what you want to do. I know firsthand, guys, that this really pays off. I must have sent hundreds and hundreds of emails in the past few years to different counselling psychologists, even to just general psychologists, trying to learn a little bit more about what they do and to connect with them in any way I can. Sometimes it's even led to paid work, so I really advise networking in psychology by any means necessary. Step number 5 in building a psychological CV, showing that you are just more than academics. You have to get your personality across. As student psychologists, it's so easy to get wound up in academics. It's so easy to get consumed by your studies and let that be your identity. What's really important, guys, is that when you're applying for jobs, when you're creating a CV in psychology, that you show that you're more than just your degrees. And by this, I mean show that you're interested in more than psychology, whether that's sports, whether that's exercise, whether that's social events, leisure events. Get that across in your CV. These things are going to be really important when employers are trying to distinguish you from everybody else. So guys, going through those 5 steps again. Step 1, seek out voluntary roles. Step 2, seek out any form of work in psychology that you can get. Step 3, looking out for additional courses. Step 4 is networking. And step 5, showing that you are more than just academics. So guys, again, I want to say a huge thank you for you tuning in to GetPsyched. And this video catered toward building a psychological CV. Make sure to hit subscribe, make sure to hit like, make sure to comment on your videos. What's the best way that you guys have found when you've been building your psychological CV? What stood you out from the rest of the psychology graduates looking for work? Again, thank you so much for tuning in, guys, and we'll catch you next time.